Hi, this is Sandy Jo from rhinestonetemplates.com, and I'm just going to do a little lesson here, or showing you guys around a little bit on the Funtime Scrapbooking Pro 2014 on what it can or what it can't do, and just kind of give you guys some general ideas of some of the things that you can do. This program does have a cutter or a driver now for the cutter for the Cameo, so it accepts EPS, SVG, DXF, and a lot of different files into the program now that it couldn't cut with a Cameo before. So this is a nice driver that has a lot of other drivers in there too, and I covered that in a video before this. But so let's go ahead and just show you a little bit what it can do. And it has a lot of different applications that you can use for rhinestoning and scrapbooking, and I do a ton of rhinestoning, so I'll show you mostly the rhinestone features, and later on we'll do some more of the scrapbooking features and different things. But you have a transformation box here that comes up when you pull up your program, and what this is it has scissors, and it's different applications of different lines that you can cut, different things that you can do, and ways of drawing and cutting actually with different variations with the scissors, and actually with the sizer tool too. You can get in here and make the scallops and the dips and stuff a little bit different. It also has an embroidery thing for punching holes and different things if you want to use that. It has a piercing for the same thing, and then it has a lattice feature, which is really cool, and I can show you some of that stuff on a different video that we would do. But this is the stone feature that I use most of the time in the WinPC sign programs, or in the Funtime Scrapbooking 2014. And here it just shows you your different sizes of stones, and when you pick a size of stone, pick the size of stone true to the stone size. So if you're going for a 10 SS stone, you pick a 10 SS stone, and then you go up 3 sizes, which is a 13, and automatically has it measured there for you. If you're working with a 6 SS stone, you grab a 6 SS and go up 3, and you go to a 9. Or if you're working with a flocked material, sometimes I go to a 10, just to cut a little bit bigger so it can go in there and turn around well. The flocked material seems like you want to cut your holes just a little bit bigger, not too big, but a little bit bigger, to let those stones fall in there really, really well. And you know, so that's some of our stone sizing on there. And the spacing, I like to cut nice and close, so I go with a 0.03, which is a nice tight stone spacing. And when you're first starting, sometimes start out with a 0.06, you know, just so you get your spacing down just a little bit. And so that's kind of a walkover in this area. I'll go over some of these down here, and I did in my last video too. We have a color palette, a color bar that comes up here, and this just shows you lots of different colors that you can use for your proofs and touching something and making it a different color. You know, so you can do that with this tool over here, and it just brings the color in, you know, really well for you. And working with that, I'll put that back to there. We have different tools in here, and we have different papers and textures and different things that we can work with too for scrapbooking and for different things that I'll show you at some point here. We'll get going, but I just wanted to give you a little walk around here. Down here we have our magnifying glasses that we do. This is what brings up the transformation box right here. I'll take it down so you can see the gem on the bottom. Brings up all of our gem sizes, and these are all gem simulated stones, I call them, that you can put to your product once you've made your design and get them ready for a proof. So you can hit any of those once you've stoned something, and it changes over to any of these colors. You just say select, and then go ahead and hit the color once you have it to stone, and then it will go ahead and change the whole thing over to that color for you. But let's go ahead and start over here. I'm going to go ahead and magnify this a little bit. I like to work in magnification a lot for detail. And when you first bring an EPS or SVG image into Funtime or into WinPC, the first thing you want to do is you want to go up and you want to break all or ungroup it. And I've already done that with this. It's showing up here as a light gray, so that means I've already done it. And I want to go ahead and just go ahead and, you know, get this ready for working with. So I've ungrouped it, and I'm going to take it into wireframe, which is the bottom W down on the bottom. And the wireframe will actually show me all of my cut lines and all my different lines that I have to go with. When you see a blue line and a red line, because I haven't combined this and I want to keep it separate, that just tells me that my lines were drawn going in an opposite way than what they were before. And there's a way you can make them go to the right way, but it doesn't really matter. It's just the way that the stones are going to fill it, you know, to the left or to the right way. So I've got it in wireframe, and I'm going to work it in wireframe here a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pick my fill tool, but I'm going to do our blanket here first. And over here, you have the fill, and if that's unchecked, then you get an outline feature, which I'll show you. But when it's checked, you get a fill feature. I've got my stones that I want. I want to go with a 13 SS stone, and I've got my spacing at 0.03, and you just click apply, and that applies my stones down here. And I'll show you out of wireframe how that looks on, and it followed that line pretty good in there. And I'm going to go back to wireframe. That shows me a hollow stone. But until we're done, I like to work in wireframe just to see where all my lines and different things are. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab an outside line here, and by grabbing an outside line on the outside, it's going to go ahead and I'm going to uncheck my fill because I don't want to fill this whole heart. I just want to do an outline. I'm going to use the same size stone. Go ahead and click apply. And then I'm going to go ahead and it shows that I did a really nice fill through this area through here. There are some collisions in through here, so I would come through and I'll show you that in the regular. I would come through and I would delete those stones there where I have my collisions. Or you could also have taken it before you started and make that blanket a little bit smaller and bring it in away from that line and work that as well too. And let's just go ahead and enlarge this a little bit and see what all it picked up. It picked up pretty good around his head, you know, and it picked up in his hands here a little bit, and his eyes and his mouth. I'm going to go ahead and delete his eyes over here. Oops, I have to go outside my thing. Go and delete his eyes because I want to show you another way of doing this. I'm going to delete his mouth too. And let's delete his nose a little bit here. And I'm going to show you how to add some stones randomly wherever you would like to add them. And there's a pointer hand here. And by doing that, I've already got my stone size picked. Whatever size stone you have picked is what size will be on your hand. And just go ahead and place those stones wherever you want them. And when I'm freehanding something, if somebody sends me a JPEG or something that I just can't vectorize, it's too many colors, I work with this feature a lot in my programs and end up just freehanding a lot of stones in a lot of different places. So that's really fun. That's the freehand feature, and I'll just do a few more here just to kind of show you how it works. You can just do whatever you want, and it just drops the stones. We'll go out of wireframe, and you can see where it just dropped those stones for me. And I'm going to go back into wireframe here a little bit and just show you another feature. If, say, I wanted more stones in a specific area, and let's just say this one right here, let's delete that one, and I'll just choose this one up above it, this 4-way copy selection here. I could go ahead and I could duplicate another stone and then use my 4-way keyboard on my computer to select that and just move that over into place. So that's another way of selecting stones, just kind of dropping stones. This selection is that if you have one stone and then you have another stone, and this is really good to work with fonts and different things. Let's spread that out just a little bit more. And you have your spacing and everything all ready to go. All you have to do is select these two stones here, hit this one, and it fills everything in with the spacing that you have pre-programmed up through here. So that's a really nice tool to work around too. I'm going to get out of wireframe here, and what I would do at this point is go ahead and let's make this smaller here so we can see. I would go ahead and get rid of some of these stones that are having some problems with connecting with each other, intersections and stuff, and maybe fill one end down through there, or in a couple different places. But I just kind of wanted to give you an idea and show you some of the different things that it can do. And when you're all done, then if it didn't erase all the original lines, you just take those lines, pull them off, and delete them and get rid of them, and you have your image when you're all done, and that image then is ready to send to the cutter and go ahead and cut. But you can go ahead and do that. Let's see here. Oh, another feature that I really love about this is if for some reason you brought a file in to WinPC or into Funtime and you question the stones, if the stones are round or oblong or anything at all, and I always use this feature before I send anything to the cutter. You can select whatever you want and you hit to change circle, and you can go ahead and change that circle out then to make sure it's an absolutely perfect circle before you actually send it to your cutter. Yeah, I just put that back in there. Another feature that this program has is if you want to, you've made something. Let's just say you've made this particular thing here, but you want it you know, to be the same size stone, but you want to shrink it up or you want to shrink it down a little bit. You can hit I group it first, and then you can hit your shift key and your S key, and you can take it and drag it larger, and when you drag it larger, your stones all stay the exact same size that they were before. And you can also do that if you want to tighten lines up a little bit, you know, or spacing. You can do that same thing. Hit your shift key and your S key, and let's circumference, grab that first here, and hit the shift and the S key and take it down and bring stones in a little bit tighter and stuff too. But it saves your 10SS stones that you have here. It doesn't change your stone size. It will change the size of the design. But let's work with the fonts here just a little bit, and we will go ahead and my phone is ringing. If I don't know if you can hear it or not, but we'll just let that go and the answer machine can pick it up. But we'll go ahead and work with this Funtime over here, these two words, and I want to show you a couple of different ways of working with a lot of our fonts. And what I'm going to do is enlarge again. I like to always enlarge, and usually before I do something I usually duplicate it, which would just be to duplicate anything, you just right click and you have putting an image in back or the front, the duplicate key, and a lot of other things that show up here, and you just work with that. But we're going to work with the outline on this particular program. We're going to just work with the outline feature on this Funtime font, and I'm going to go over to the text bar over here, and I want to spread this out just a little bit because I know when I stone this, these are going to be pretty tight. So there's a couple of ways that you can do that. You can break text, and you can break it by character, you can break it by word, you can break it by line or the outline, or you can do a visual text spacing. The visual text spacing is you just drag it where you want it. And if you want something a little tighter, grab that other little nodule in between and you can pull it in just a little bit tighter, so you can really work these things very well however you want. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got that spread out, and I've got it at about 10 inches. It's a little bigger than what we really need, but we're going to go ahead and just let it do that. My phone's ringing again, sorry. And then this one too, let's spread this one out just a little bit more. Go up to the text bar and do our visual text spacing and spread that out, and not quite as far as the other one, and work with that. Up on our toolbar we have a lot of different things up here too. This book here is a lot of the clip art that comes in with the program, that it just comes in for free. It's a lot of things that are ready to stone, and like under decoration you can find, you know, all these different things under decoration, and you can go ahead and use those and bring those over onto your screen and go ahead and work with them. There's a lot of different tools up here. We'll cover these in different videos, so I don't do too many things here to kind of confuse you. But let's go back, and I will go back and enlarge this through here, and let's go ahead and take this one, and this is a font. Let's find out what font I used here. And these are the Funtime fonts I think that I'm working with, and this is called GLOBUS, so I think it's Globus. And in this is where you would actually type what you want to type, and it shows up then up through here, and you can go ahead and adjust your height or whatever if you want, or edit spacing after creation if you want to. But so we'll go ahead and just work with this, and we're going to go ahead and just do a outline so that I can go ahead and show you. Now I've got the 10SS stones, and I've got the 0.03 on here for spacing, and so I will go ahead and you know, hit that and let that apply, and we'll go ahead and see how that did that. It made that really nice, and fill it in pretty darn good, and the spacing is really good, throughout that. And that would, you could get your letters closer together now. If I wanted the letters to be just a little bit closer together, I'll zoom out, and I would come up here, and I would just, they're all freestanding, so I could just use my 4-way, just bring my letters in just a little bit tighter if I wanted to, so that I can fit a little bit more in on whatever it is that I'm creating for me or for a client. And bring that in, and that comes in now at 9 inches, and it's nice and tight, and I think it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and do a fill and see how the fill looks and comes out, and same sizes. I'm going to use the same size of everything, and that looks pretty good too. I would probably come in here and I would adjust these lines where there's a triple line here just a little bit, maybe come in and work them a little bit like this, where I would actually grab a line and move it over, and I'd actually grab this line too, and I'd move that one over, make them a little bit tighter, or you could also turn it into a 4-line pretty easy by doing this, and move it over, and then right click, duplicate, and slide that one right over, and then you have a 4-line. So there's a lot of adjustments that you can do. Now here's a tool that I absolutely love, and this is the only program, the Funtime and the WinPC, that I know that has this tool. And this is my Lasso tool. And how I work with my Lasso tool, if I want to do an inside-outside color font or anything, what I do is I've got this little, you can see my little cursor and you can see my little rope there. You go, and this actually goes around any surface, any circle, anything that you want it to be. It's not a straight line. You encompass, make a total circle on it, hit select. It's selected all those, and you can change all of those colors and then send it to your cutter. This one right down here, it didn't grab that one. So you go back up to your Lasso tool and just grab it. Make sure it's got a good circle around it. Hit it, change it to a different color, and you're good to go. How I use this on tons and tons of my designs, and I love that feature. It's also a really good feature if you want to do, some of you were asking how to do some of my wave that I do with the multicolors and the watercolors that I do on some of my patterns. And let me just show you how I do that. And I use my Lasso tool or my zebra fonts. I use that for my zebra fonts too. I'm just going to go ahead and make a great big square here, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill that square. And it'll take a couple minutes. There we go. Fill that square. And so now if I wanted to do different colors, I would just come in here and just do some squigglies on it, make them whatever color you want them to be, and just be creative in some of the things that you do, and you come out with some really cool effects when you're done with any of this stuff. And I just kind of go through and layer, and I can see here I want to kind of come up now. Let's go over there and let's come in with a different color through there. And this Lasso tool, like I said, is a lifesaver, getting into small places and changing things and doing different things. I'm going to pick a different color in my palette here. That's fine. Okay, and it's still, I still have it selected down there. So it just changes, and you can do so many different things with that Lasso tool. It's one of my favorite tools in this program. A lot of programs have a lot of great tools, but this one is, to me, absolutely priceless, because I can get into small little areas and really work around the design if I want to get in, and say if I wanted to go in between a curved line and a font and even just space that out a little bit. You can't, sometimes you just can't get in there with just going in there and selecting it like this. You'll end up picking up that other font and kind of making a mess. So that Lasso tool is absolutely awesome. I'm going to go back over to our fonts here a little bit because I want to show you this feature too that I kind of already pinpointed on with that finger and the dropping the dots. But watch and see how easy it is to make a 3-line font. If you can take and drop those dots wherever you want, you'll get good at spacing in between. Normally I just go bigger in this, but you can just see, you could take, or you could even, with this one, you could even maybe almost fit, you could almost fit 2 in there, but you could just, you could take a bigger one. We could go into a stone that would be for a 19 or a 16 SS stone, which would be a 19, and drop our bigger ones in wherever we want sporadically, or drop some in to change colors here or there, or do whatever. But that just gives you some ideas of some of the different things that we can do with the Funtime Scrapbooking. And I'll keep making some little videos for you guys, and kind of showing you some different things of all the different things that this program can do. It has a what you see is what you get tool on it. It has auto vectorization on it. It comes with a bunch of shapes, that you can go ahead and use in any of your projects. Stone those, use them for vinyl, use them for, cups or whatever you would like. There's a lot of the special effects. You can make things out of the puzzle pieces. You can do your charms. You've got scissors in here. I mean, there's just a shadowing. There's just so many different little things and things that are awesome that you can do. But so I just wanted to let you see some of the stuff. So again, this is Sandy Jo at rhinestonetemplates.com, and I'm part of the quite a few forums and groups around. And if you have any ideas or suggestions for me, or have questions or whatever, just let me know. I'd be happy to answer any of the questions for you. And thank you for watching this, and I'll see you in the next video.